Hi everybody. This isn't Dr. Nick. The global stock market enters the week of March 30th, 2026, under a cloud of geopolitical volatility. Following a turbulent March, major indices are grappling with the fallout of the US-Iran conflict, which has spiked energy prices and stoked stagflation fears. Investors are currently pivoting toward defensive postures as the VIX remains elevated near 30. U.S. market sector movement and key drivers. Last week, the S&P 500 declined by approximately 2.12%, with risk-off sentiment hitting growth sectors hardest. Sector performance. Key driver. Last week, technology. Sharp decline. High yields and geopolitical risk dampened premium valuation multiples. Financials. Moderate decline. Recession fears and yield curve shifts pressured banking margins. Healthcare. Resilient. Defensive rotation as investors sought stable, non-cyclical earnings growth. Energy. Volatile/up. Supply concerns from Middle East conflict drove crude prices higher. Consumer desk. Sharp decline. Rising fuel costs and inflation expectations hit discretionary spending. Consumer staples. Outperformed. Flight to safety in essential goods amid market uncertainty. Utilities. Positive. Yield-seeking investors favored regulated earnings during border market turmoil. Industrials. Decline. Supply chain disruptions and rising input costs hampered manufacturing. Materials. Flat/mixed. Stronger USD countered gains from rising commodity price spikes. Services. Decline. Ad spending caution and tech sell-off contagion impacted major platforms. Real estate. Decline. Higher interest rate projections continue to weigh on valuations. Top expected movers. Large cap. Exchange. Stock. Expected move up and risk factor. Based on analyst momentum for the 2026 fiscal year. United States. U.S. Stock. Y and risk factor. NVIDIA. Dominating $4.37 trillion market cap by next-gen Blackwell architecture AI demand. Sharp decline in hyperscaler infrastructure capital expenditure. Apple. Strong services growth and ecosystem integration of advanced generative AI. Supply chain disruptions in key Asian manufacturing hubs. United Kingdom. UK. Stock. Y and risk factor. Shell. Surging energy prices and high dividends driving significant cash flow. Global shift toward aggressive carbon neutrality regulatory mandates. AstraZeneca. Robust oncology pipeline and recent FDA approvals boosting long-term revenue. Failure of high-stakes phase 3 clinical trial results. Europe. Stock. Y and risk factor. ASML. Monopoly on high-NA lithography machines essential for chip manufacturing. Export restrictions on high-end semiconductor manufacturing equipment. LVMH. Resilient luxury demand in China and Japan powering organic growth. Prolonged global economic slowdown reducing discretionary consumer spending. Japan. JP. Stock. Y and risk factor. Toyota. Leadership in hybrid technology and record-breaking annual net profit margins. Rapidly strengthening yen impacting overseas export revenue values. Sony. Expansion in gaming services and high-demand image sensor supply contracts. Increased competition in the global premium smartphone market. Hit the subscribe button to stay informed. Which of these 8 stocks is in your portfolio? Leave a comment. Global conditions and trends. Markets are dominated by risk-off sentiment. The U.S. faces stagflation threats, while the U.K. and Europe struggle with energy-driven inflation. Japan remains a relative haven despite currency weakness. Globally, capital is rotating from growth-heavy tech into defensive value, utilities, and energy as the Middle East conflict remains unresolved. Here are the stock market performance playlist. Is this week's stock terminology learner? What is Japan's Tankan survey? The Tankan survey is a periodic examination of Japanese businesses to evaluate the country's economic situation. The results of the survey are published by the Bank of Japan each quarter and used to formulate the nation's monetary policy. A reading greater than 0 represents favorable conditions, while a number less than 0 represents unfavorable conditions. Leave in the comments what term you want defined in the next video. Anticipated news. Week of March 30th. The focus shifts to U.S. non-farm payrolls and ISM manufacturing data to gauge recessionary depth. In the UK and Europe, flash inflation prints will dictate central bank hawkishness. Japan's Tankan survey will provide insight into business sentiment. Any diplomatic escalation in the Middle East remains the primary wildcard for a potential relief rally. We're polling right now. Which of these wildcards do you think will be the primary engine for a 2026 stock market breakout? Go to our community tab to cast your vote. Channel memberships and new merchandise are now available. Watch for the weekly videos dropping on Mondays and Thursdays. Disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Always perform your own due diligence before investing. Leave a message in the comments. 2 broker offers available. See video description. Like and share. Bye everybody.
This is the stock market performance playlist, the sound of victory. Peace.